Hi everyone, I'm Simon from Homesite, and today we're going to be installing Homebridge on a Raspberry Pi. Easy as that. We're going to try and do it in 7 minutes or less. Let's go! So first of all, what is Homebridge? Well, very simply, it's a way of adding unsupported devices onto your Apple HomeKit. It's support for the impatient. It's devices that probably will be supported eventually, but aren't just yet. So let's see how we install it. For this, all you're going to need is a Raspberry Pi of any kind. If you've got an old, slow one like I'm using in this video, it will take a little bit longer, but it's still very possible. You'll need an SD card. Of course, you need to be running Apple HomeKit already on an iPad or an Apple TV or something permanent within your home. I'm also assuming you've got an iPhone at hand and you're going to be able to scan a QR code and add it to your HomeKit through there. So last bit of admin, I really love making these videos for the community. I hope that you do too. If you do, give it a like at the bottom, subscribe to my channel and check me out on Instagram as well to get a sneak peek on all of my future videos. Let's go. So to flash our Pi, we are going to use the Raspberry Pi Imager. It says it's new, but it's been around since March 2020, so it's been around a while. It's available for on Windows, Mac, and Ubuntu as well. So the link, of course, is in the description below. So once you've downloaded that, install that like you normally would. As you can see, I'm doing it on Windows. It's a really quick install. And once it's installed, it'll give you this. You choose your storage, in my case, this SD card. Then you can choose your operating system. Rather than downloading it directly from the website, you can choose it from a list. Now there's lots in there, whether you're into gaming on there or just a GNOME sort of graphical user interface. But here you can see there's also Homebridge. Now this will take around 5 minutes to do, but as you can see on it gets to about 90% and it dies. I don't really know why. It did give me a weird error message about some unobtainable IP address. So of course I tried the natural thing and tried it all over again. And it did exactly the same thing. I don't know whether this is my setup or what. I don't have anything particularly fancy going on. But it didn't work. So I'm going to have to go the old-fashioned way and download the file. But I can still use this Pi Imager, as you can see here. So we go to homebridge.io. And if you scroll down here, right to the bottom, once again, description's in the link below, you can download the image itself. And you can see here, it comes in a nice zip file, ready for you to download. It takes it took mine about 5 minutes to download. While you're waiting, you can, of course, like this video, you can subscribe to my channel, and check me out on Instagram as well, of course. You can also take a look at some of the documentation, which is on this GitHub page. So as you can see, that's now downloaded. Don't do anything with that IMG file. Just jump straight back to that Raspberry Pi Imager. And instead of going on Homebridge, I'm going to go back and scroll down to the bottom and choose my own file. I'm going to choose the zip file, not the IMG file. You don't need to extract it. And I'm going to hit go. And this again takes about 5 minutes. So if you can get the Imager to work by itself, it is seemingly quicker. Because whilst it's downloading it, it seems to still be writing it directly. Once it's written it, it will of course verify it as well. Now I get these weird error messages, but you can just ignore those. It's clearly because the SD card has been ejected and reinserted. Virtually, I mean. And it's now saying you need to format the disk. But you're now able to take the SD card out. Now a quick word about SD cards, don't go cheap. Buy an expensive SD card. Once you're done with it, put it into your Raspberry Pi. Put the power in, and if you plug a monitor into your Pi, you'll see this screen here. Lots of scrolling. If you're used to Linux or Pi or anything like that, you'll be fairly familiar with this sort of startup routine. It takes quite a while, especially on this Pi that I'm running this on, because this is just a Pi 1, I think. So it's very slow, processor is very limited. If you're running this on a Pi 4 with 4 gig of RAM or 8 gig of RAM or even 2 gig of RAM, it'd be much faster than this. Once it's finished, you will see this Homebridge made out of icons. You can log in with the username Pi and the password is Raspberry. Now, the only reason I'm logging into this is to get the IP address. I jump the gun a little bit here and I start typing IP space ADDR before it's actually giving me the prompt. But this command, by typing IP addr, it'll come up with the IP address so you know what URL to use in your web browser. It's giving me a warning about the default password, which is still enabled. Of course, I recommend you change that. And then once you type IP addr, you can see the IP addresses there. If you wanted to change it or fix it, you could type in nmtui and you'll get this graphical user interface. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. If you go to select the connection, go to edit, you can see here we've got the IPv4 configuration. If you scroll down to that, you can click show and you can edit. You can see it's on automatic at the minute. And as we saw a minute ago, my IP address is 192.168.100.7. So that's my URL that I'm going to use in Chrome in just a second. So here you go, you can see that IP address there. So I'm going to type that in. No need for a colon with any ports or anything like that. No need for HTTPS. Just go straight to HTTP : / and the IP address that it gave you. Now that will start up. Again, this takes a minute or two, especially on my Pi that I'm using. Of course, if you don't have the ability to plug in a monitor, you can always check your DHCP table on your router and it should tell you what the IP address is. You might need to hunt through a bit, especially if you've got lots of devices on your network. You could also use something like Angry IP Scanner to look through all of your IP addresses and hopefully spot the right one. But if you are struggling with the networking, check out the link at the top and it'll take me to the networking tutorial. Now here you can see there's a message about Homebridge doesn't normally take this long to start, and it even says perhaps you're running on a Pi 1, which is what I'm doing. Once it boots up, you'll get the username and password, and it's admin and admin. Of course, you get the option to save it in Chrome. Now once that's done, you'll be presented with this screen. Now my CPU runs at about 100% for quite a while here, but it seems to automatically check for updates and start Homebridge automatically. And you get this nice QR code so you can subscribe to it. Once you're at this point, it's time to get out your mobile phone. So use your camera, scan the QR code, and it'll automatically take you to the Home app. You can either add it to your existing Home or create a new one. I'm going to create a new one and I'm going to call it Home 2. Nice and imaginative. It's going to tell you it's an uncertified accessory. Just hit add anyway. It's going to be fine. Tell HomeKit where your bridge is. Doesn't really matter that much. Now I'm going to just say that mine is in the entrance. Give it a name if you wish. If you had lots of bridges, I guess this would be helpful. And by clicking the little home icon on the top left, I can select Home 2. Now, if you had other accessories, of course, you can add them directly as well. Alternatively, by adding devices directly into Homebridge, it'll automatically appear on your HomeKit app. Easy as that. So thank you so much for watching. I've been Simon from Homesite. I hope you've given this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram to see what else I'm doing. Thank you so much.